Welcome back. It was a wild and interesting night around the Ontario Hockey League yesterday. We had a wild score down in Windsor. We've got Ty Nelson setting records in North Bay and Barrie Colts injury troubles against the Niagara Ice Dogs. We'll get to all that here in this news update. Should be just a quick news update video because I just wanted to talk about some of the things that happened last night, starting off with that ugly loss down at the WFCU Center where the Windsor Spitfires they lost 12-3 to the Owen Sound attack. They're down 8-3 after the first period, just not the start you were looking for. And I think what was a factor in this one is the fact that the Spitfires were involved in that three-team trade just hours before puck drop involving the Saginaw Spirit and the Kingston Frontenacs. And they saw key pieces with Rodman Donizio and Christopoulos going to the Saginaw Spirit, which you have to wonder if it was a morale issue with the Windsor Spitfires, because we've seen this in the past where teams have made big trades where key players from the lineup are moved out, and then it's just the lineup just feels dejected, and they don't really have that grade A performance. I know you're probably some people think that when there's a trade, just move on, but still there's relationships that are being affected by this trade, and you're bringing in new faces, and it's going to take a while too for chemistry to develop because now the lines are looking really different. But for Windsor, I think it might also be a little bit more than just some of the surface level things because this isn't the first time Windsor has given up double-digit goals. This is now the third time this season. They gave up 11 against the Kitchener Rangers, an 11-2 loss. That was back on October 15th. And then on November 9th against the London Knights, they lost 10-7. So keeping the puck out of the net has been an issue for Windsor. They're right now 9 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. They're on a 6-game losing streak, and they open a home-and-home series tonight at the Odd in Kitchener. So it doesn't get any easier for this Windsor Spitfires team. But despite some of these challenges, there are some bright spots with this Windsor Spitfire lineup. You look at Liam Greentree. He's having a good season offensively. 12 goals, 13 assists, good for 25 points. And then Oliver Peer, 8 goals, 14 assists, good for 22 points. So they are getting the goals. The offense is there. It's just the defense that seems to be letting them down and just not getting key saves at the right moment. Then you look at with Donizia out of the picture, Anthony Cristoforo, he leads the blue line in points with just 11. He's also a minus 19. I think that stands out. I know people don't really like the plus-minus category for statistics, but I think this kind of stands out at this point in the regular season. You also look at Connor Toms. He was picked up from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds just a month ago. No points in 7 games since that trade. He's also a minus 14. So things just not looking great on that Windsor blue line. Although I do like the pickup of Roberto Mancini from the Saginaw Spirit. I think he should help them on the back end. He's a stay-at-home defenseman. And at this point, you have to figure something has got to give with the Windsor Spitfires, as it's been a tough road this season so far. And as I mentioned, they're back in action tonight against the Kitchener Rangers, who are first place in the Ontario Hockey League. So it does not get any easier. Now, on a bright note, Ty Nelson, the defenseman of the North Bay Battalion, he is setting records with the franchise. The battalion, they recognized him last night for becoming the leader in franchise assists for defensemen and also in goals and points. So congratulations to Ty Nelson. He had 2 assists last night, which passes Michael Vernis for first in franchise history in assists with 104. And then, as I mentioned, he's also first in goals for a defenseman with 41 and points by a defenseman with 145. So Ty Nelson just continuing to get it done with the North Bay Battalion, the Seattle Kraken prospect. He is looking good. But then you have to wonder, like, if we didn't have the COVID seasons or the disruptions, how many more points would Ty Nelson have right now? Like, it's crazy to think about how offensively gifted this defenseman is, and he still has time to go. So he could climb up even the overall points for the battalion organization. I also thought it was interesting, too. He scored a power play goal last night, his 20th in his career. That's also a franchise record for a defenseman with 20. So when you look at the big picture, he's 8th right now in North Bay Battalion history for points. So I think the sky's the limit for him, and we'll see how high he can climb on the points list for North Bay. And I just wanted to end talking about the Barrie Colts. They had a tough loss last night against the Niagara Ice Dogs. It was a 5-2 final. They were down 3-0 going into the third period. The Colts tried to fight back. They got within one, but just wasn't enough. Now, there were injury issues in the game last night. Olivier Savard, he ended up taking a puck to the mouth. He left the game. Ronek Jodouin also leaving the game due to injury. There's no update yet as to whether or not they will be back in the lineup Saturday when the Barrie Colts take on the Guelph Storm. But just seeing those injuries happen in St. Catharines, you almost have to wonder if it might be more than a day-to-day situation for those two players. But time will tell as the Barrie Colts, they get back in action tomorrow night at the Saddlein Arena. I'll be calling the game on Rogers TV. Puck drop is at 7:30, and I'll have a full recap after the game, going over the details as the Guelph Storm make their one and only visit to the Saddlein Arena. So those are the news items for today. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on the Windsor Spitfires. Even the Owen Sound attack, that was a huge game for them. Denny Gore, I believe he had 6 points in that game. So I think this might have been something that the doctor ordered for Owen Sound as they're looking to turn around their season. They play Sarnia tonight, so it'll be interesting to see if that momentum can continue. So let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the Windsor game, maybe your opinions about Ty Nelson, or your thoughts about the Barrie Colts going into tomorrow night's game against Guelph. So hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.